There are some people in this world with extraordinary gifts. We don't ask to be special. We're just born that way.
Yes! Are you ready for the time of your life with episode... God damn it!
No.
I cannot remember the damn episode we're on for this. But anyways, this is the Movie Thing Podcast. Episode... It's
episode whatever the fuck you want it to be.
Yeah, honestly, it's episode whatever you clicked on, it's that one. Because when I post it up, I'm like, oh, we're on episode blah, blah, blah. I don't know. I'm pretty good at remembering the bloody screen ones, but this one, no. Anyways, I'm Brendan. I have my co-host, life partner.
Hey. You have to say lovely assistant, fuckhead.
My lovely assistant here to the right who will show you to your new car. Dun, 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 dun. Oh.
It's a Fiero.
Oh, Fiero. It's a Lamborghini.
Lamborghini. Yes.
Like they would ever give that kind of car off on a game show. It's usually like, do you want this Ford Fiesta?
No shit. I always love that. It's a new car. It's a fucking box.
I know.
It's a box with wheels.
Oh, yeah. We gave you a new Prius hybrid. I don't want it. No, take it back. Can I get the cash value for that? No. Take the car.
I want to see the guy that does that.
I know. Yeah, I don't want a new car. But we're giving you a new car. I don't want a new car. I like my car I have. Can I just get a cash? And maybe I could take that money from that new car and go get myself my car that I actually want. You know. Yeah.
Not gay.
Yeah. Oh, game shows. Hey, do you want this piece of shit refrigerator? The fan will break the moment you plug it in. Yes. God. Actually, apparently, one of the guy from, I want to say was The Price is Right. No, not. It was Wheel of... Which one's the one with the, Jack, I'd like to buy a vowel, please.
Wheel of Misfortune.
Oh, okay. Yeah, apparently that dude got, some shit for being racist recently.
Good.
I didn't really read on the story. I just saw the headline. I was like, oh, shit, game show host is gone. I'll take his place. Talk about the... Dude, talk about the easiest, $100,000 a year I can make. I'm just assuming he doesn't really make that much, so.
Probably not.
I'd say that much as if $100,000 a year isn't nothing.
Right, we make 12.
I know. I actually, interesting enough today, Scott, I just got off the phone with an interview from Dish. Let me just, I'll just say it. I was on an interview with Dish, and sadly, I can't work there.
Why?
Let's just say scheduling issues. Because the way because they really want you to sign away your life to them. Like doing, from what they described, either I did 5 8-hour days, 4 10-hour days, or 3 12-hour days or some shit like that. It was some weird ass fucking schedules. And I'm just sitting there, and then they're like, well, you also need to do, if we hire you now, you have to do a 4-week training program where you cannot miss a single day. And I'm like, yeah, I'm going out of the town in 4 weeks. Exactly, basically. I that's non-negotiable, I'm sorry. I already have the plane tickets, it's happening. Booking the hotels as we speak, type of thing. So, yeah.
Yeah.
It kind of sucks because, Dish doesn't pay. I was going to be the dude on the phone saying, hey, sir, are you happy with your cable company? Yes, perfectly. Stop calling me at work. No, wait, sir. But we're Dish. We do the exact same thing as DirecTV, except for we'll change the price for 3 months and then jack it way up like everybody else.
Exactly.
It's a horrible scam. Yeah. I'm not really a cable fan, as you can tell.
I'm not either.
I'm especially since Amazon Prime, this isn't in our news, guys, but Amazon Prime gets HBO now.
Cool.
I am able now to watch Sopranos, The Wire, for some reason not Game of Thrones. I don't know why that's not on there, but yeah, Sopranos, The Wire, True Blood, I'm gonna try True Blood, Rome, Band of Brothers, The Pacific, and basically, Boardwalk Empire, I just keep remembering more. Basically everything but Game of Thrones. I'm like, but why? That's the one I want to watch, guys! So yeah, I'm kind of excited to finally get it caught up on those. Sadly, Netflix also has my dick wrapped around all their TV shows. They're like, but Brandon, that new Star Wars Clone Wars TV show, as in new, I mean, the Star Wars Clone Wars TV show is here, and I'm like, it's actually pretty good. Have you watched it yet, Scott?
No, I haven't.
It's pretty damn good. Me and Nick are watching it right now, and I'm on the 4th season. He's like on the 2nd. I'm digging it. I'm a Star Wars junkie though. Like, I'm the dude that actually liked the prequels, so.
I liked them too, but,
okay. Yeah, and it's just like, I really dig this show. I'm not gonna lie. It has my Star Wars fix. And then I need to start watching Young Justice, and then there's just so many shows. TV is so good right now, and makes me think of, what the fuck was I doing when I was a kid back in the 90s? Like, I mean, granted, the 90s had some decent shows, like that The Sopranos on and all that, and like, as if I'd be probably allowed to watch it, little 8-year-old Brandon trying to watch Sopranos. Like, no, I want to watch the mobsters, like, fuck prostitutes and kill people.
Exactly.
Like any, young lad should.
Yes. Billy, what did you do this summer? Well, my daddy and we watched, Tony Soprano, beat this guy's shins in because he was late on the protection money. I'm sorry, what? Yeah. What have you been up to, Scotty? I haven't talked to you since work.
Yeah, since work, pretty much. I haven't been up to a whole lot, honestly.
I know. I think, fuck with all this rain that's happening lately, huh?
No kidding.
The entire week, just rain. And the worst part is, I have this dirt driveway, and it's starting to wash away. So I spent the later part of my day today, sweeping the dirt back into the driveway. Honestly, the neighbors looked at me as if I'm a crazy person. Like, why is he sweeping his driveway? Into his driveway. And then eventually I got tired of sweeping it, and I just grabbed the hose and just sprayed off the driveway because I'm just like, I'm done. I'm just done with the sweeping of the dirt into more dirt. Yeah, it seems like a crazy person thing to do, but yeah. Sweeping the driveway into other driveway.
Yes.
I haven't been up to a whole hell of a lot. Yesterday I went down to the comic shop off 104th, and yeah, they actually finally put up a sign. So I actually could see where the comic shop was. I'm like, oh, it's that one with the big old sign there saying comics. And I spent about $35 on comics, and I was all proud of myself. I'm like, yay, I didn't spend that much for comic reasons. And yeah, I'm all excited right now because I actually I'm looking at them right now like, I want to read them. And then it's still better than what I did on Marvel.com where I spent $50, I want to say. Yeah, $50 on Daredevil and Captain America comics. I did a subscription thing so I get all the new ones. And they're like, would you like to auto-renew? I'm like, no, because a year from now I'm not sure if I want to continue. So I hate auto-renew. That should not be a standard. I mean, am I right, Internet? Auto-renew is bullshit.
Love it.
Like Amazon. Let me put it this way. Amazon Prime does auto-renew. And they fucked me last July. Because I went to Wendy's. I'm like, oh, I got money for Wendy's. Swipe my card. I'm sorry, if we cannot charge this. Why? Because it tells us that you'd have a -2 balance if we do. I'm like, and I like get on my phone. I'm like looking at my bank statement. Thank God I have a credit card too. And then I see like, oh, Amazon Prime took $40 out because I didn't know it was going to do that.
Yeah.
And it just took out all the money I had in my account at the moment. I'm like, oh, thank you guys. That's real sweet of you. Yeah. So that, and then one last bullshit topic that I have to bring up is I'm a fat American, Scott.
You are?
Yes. Not physically, but mentally. This is what I did this morning. I was hungry. I woke up, 10 o'clock, I'm like, I'm rather hungry. I drive down to Big City Burrito, I get myself a burrito, and then the thought occurred to me. It just, bing! I'm like, well, this will be good suffice for breakfast, but what do I have for lunch? And I'm like, wait, there's a Carl's Jr. So I drive to the Carl's Jr. that is just right across the street, essentially, and I buy some Carl's Jr. So basically, yeah, I am the fat guy who went to 2 different restaurants, and for people who don't know, I'm able to eat cheeseburgers cold, but I did eat the fries warm because I can't do fries cold. Cheeseburgers I can eat cold; they're fine. It's I don't know about you, Scott. I can eat majority of things except pasta cold.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, pasta can't do cold. Everything else, I'm like, unless it's supposed to be cold pasta, which that gets in the whole thing. Like, let's say spaghetti, no cold spaghetti. That's disgusting.
Yeah.
Anyways, let's move on with what did you watch this week, Scotty? Oh wait, before we start, pull back. You weren't here last week, Scotty.
I was not.
It's time to tell people about your movie premiere,
Nah.
Mr. Hollywood, who does it for a school project and actually had a premiere with like over 200 people, which is pretty damn good.
What it was a documentary about women veterans, and it was made really for the Library of Congress and more for like Memorial Day.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to go to high schools and Congress and YouTube and yeah.
What did you actually do? I think you did the trailer from what you were telling me.
I did the trailer. I did a lot of the different animation and editing in that sense, and some script stuff.
Some script stuff. That's cool. I mean, granted, it's a documentary, so there's not too much script going on there. It's more or less like maybe background information and facts and,
Pretty much.
And then the rest is like interviewing the women veterans and stuff. So, how'd the premiere go? Was the overall reaction good, or?
Yeah, everybody loved it.
Everybody loved it? Well,
yeah.
We'll see how the internet feels about it, Scotty. Because everyone loved it.
The internet can suck a dick.
Hey, Scotty, I have to play devil's advocate here, Scotty, with, everyone knew everybody there, so, it's not like anyone's gonna be like, that sucked!
Yeah.
And then basically it has to go through the harshness of the internet, where people are like, why don't they show their boobs? And people are like, what's wrong with you as a human being?
Yeah.
And then when you find out, oh, it's a tenured professor at Harvard who said that.
Exactly.
Actually, no, usually it's like some 12-year-old kid who's on a school library, just has nothing better to do. Yes. So, now let's get into what did you watch this week, Scott?
Not really a whole lot, actually.
Been kind of just busy with work and such.
Yeah. Most of the time.
I didn't really watch this week. I mean, basically within the last 2 weeks, I watched, I went to see Godzilla. Our review will be out shortly. And last night I was at the midnight premiere of X-Men Days of Future Past.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah. It was me, Nick, and another friend of ours, and we were sitting in one theater. And basically, I didn't know this was a category of human being until yesterday. Apparently there's a category of human being known as the drama douchebags, where they're a bunch of drama nerds, I act and meh. But they're the biggest tools that I've seen in a while, because, unlike a regular D-bag, he'll go pay to see like an Adam Sandler movie, and I'll never see him, because I don't see the same movies. Like, they're like, oh, let's go see Adam Sandler and the pop movies, and I'm like, no, I want to go see the, movies that have talent. These guys will go see the movies that have talent, but then they think they're funny during those movies. But what we did is we saw this forecoming, because people who have listened to this previous, movie thing podcast where I had a fucking meltdown at the, not literally, I wasn't like throwing my arms going, but I got really pissed off at The Purge, where we had a bunch of, drama douchebags and they ruined the whole film. All three of us were like, cause we were the three that got pissed, and we were just sitting there, let's try to avoid this. So, the theater right next to us was doing the same time, same movie, just, different theater. And we're like, screw it. Let's just get up, go to the next door theater, and maybe they'll have better people. And I was a bit skeptical with the other theater we went to, because I saw a bunch of teenage kids, they don't have school anymore, so they're like, we can go see movies now. And I'm like, alright, let's see how it plays. Because I told them straight up, it's like, if this crowd is shitty, I'm just getting up and walking out. I could see this movie another time. I honestly, Scott, majority of my movies I see during the day by myself, and it's wonderful. And I watched the movie. The crowd was fine. They got pissed off at some chick who thought the movie was funny, and she was laughing, like kind of an absurd amount, like she was laughing a lot. But I said, my argument with that is, I can't tell her not to enjoy the movie. Like, if she thinks it's the most funniest X-Men movie ever, more power to you. I can't get mad about laughing.
Yeah.
I can get mad about talking and texting and doing the other shit, but not laughing. Laughing, and that would be like me getting mad at someone coughing. Like, shut up, you! You don't cough! You shouldn't have showed up if you had a scratchy throat. Anyways, also what I watched this week was Rambo First Blood Part 2. Oh yeah, this is good old Stallone back in his old days where, he just, shooting things. And it has no plot really, Rambo saving people, saving POWs from Vietnam. This has little to no, it takes place after Rambo First Blood, as it should. And it's way more violent, unlike, because in Rambo First Blood Part 1, he only kills one dude. And First Blood Part 2, he kills everybody, essentially, except the Americans, of course. Americans. I like Rambo movies. My favorite is still to this day Rambo, just the 2008 one, because that's the one where you actually get to see him get on a big-ass gun and rip people literally in half. And it is awesome. And then I also finished my Star Wars trilogy watch and watched Return of the Jedi. Sadly, the DVD version where, it has weird... Like, in Return of the Jedi, they have that weird song just thrown in there. And that kind of... I don't understand why.
Oh, is it the remastered one, too?
Yeah.
It has new guy in it?
Yeah. It just has the... It's kind of... It bugs... You know what really bugs me over the music? And it's going to be the one thing that most people don't even complain about, but it's something that bugs the shit out of me. It's the Sarlacc pit. For people who don't know what the Sarlacc pit is, it's the fucking pit where Boba Fett falls in the Return. In the remastered version, they gave that shit a mouth. And it doesn't look right. Like, in the original trilogy, in the, VHS, the original fucking thing, it was just a hole with teeth and tentacles. And that was awesome. Because it would make sense why these guys are just falling in going, ah! And, why it would just be out in the desert. It's just a pit,
Yeah.
But then they give it this, Venus flytrap, feed me, Simo! Mouth. And it doesn't look right. And also, that's always one of my biggest arguments for why Boba Fett is not really that badass of a bounty hunter sometimes. I know people have made counter-arguments saying, well, he's never faced a Jedi before. And I was like, yeah, he got his ass kicked by Luke, and I would accept that. But he doesn't get killed by Luke. He gets killed by Han Solo accidentally hitting his jetpack. Just sitting there like, Boba Fett, where? I'm just, come on! And also that's where Lando gets redeemed, and why Lando is one of the biggest pimps out there. And I also noticed in Return of the Jedi, there's another black man in there. Not Lando. He's a pilot.
And he dies.
And he does die, yes. He gets shot down. I was like, hey, look, there's another black... Oh, he's dead. It's like, damn you, Lucas!
That's like the running Family Guy joke about there only being one girl in the whole movie.
Oh, yes. Oh, there's another girl. I don't like her.
Must be the only other chick in the galaxy. I don't like her.
Yeah, honestly. They're goddamn. And also, there was another Asian guy. The first time I saw an Asian in the Star Wars universe, he also dies. It's like they had a very diverse pilot team, but they just got killed a lot.
Right.
But, I like Star Wars, so I don't try to find racism and all that stuff. Because I could do the same thing with Lord of the Rings that I love, too. And be like, hey, why are there no black people here? That's because they're orcs, Brandon. Anyways, let's move on to the box office. Sadly, since we record this show on Friday, we will not get the weekend box office, but we will get the week box office for the... I want to say
week.
It's for the 16th through the 22nd, so it is fairly recent. What we got here is, we're just going to do number 5. Number 5 has been it was number 15 last week, and somehow shot all the way up to number 5. I want to say it's because it had a limited release, and then shot up. But anyways, it's Fading Gigolo. Don't know what the hell it is. Never heard of it.
Alright then.
Yeah, has no budget that they show on Box Office Mojo, but it made $2 million, so congratulations. Number 4 is a trailer actually been seen a lot lately. and it was last week. It was number 28. Now it's number 4. Like I said, it's the limited release to full release. That's why we're seeing that. Chef. This is the one where you have basically Jon Favreau, the director of Iron Man. He's a chef that's working in a restaurant. He's like, you know what? I don't like this anymore. I'm gonna go, become a food truck guy. And that's the movie to my knowledge. I haven't seen it because honestly, the theaters that are in our area, they're like, well, that's not a big enough movie for us to show. So, yeah. I could drive to one of the more bigger theater branches that are in our area because we do have like an Alamo Draft House and all that here in Colorado. But that's a drive just to see a movie, Scott, and I'm pretty lazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so not to see that. Chef, it's made $1 million. Yeah. It has no budget as we speak. And another trailer I saw that I have gotten in a big old tiff with some people about with why I don't really care for these kind of movies because they're just shovelware. But let me put it this way. This is why I don't like these movies, folks. God's not dead. I have nothing against God. I've said this over and over and over. Nothing against it. Not an atheist at all. Nothing about that. But let me just talk with numbers. Its total budget, Scott, was $2 million.
Really?
What do you think the total gross was?
$50.
Oh, yeah. Now, the total gross, the entire amount of money this movie has made, $60 million. They have made a $58 million profit, which means this movie has no fucking budget, which means that they has no quality. I hate to say it, budget does sometimes equal quality. Sometimes. I'm not all the time. But with these movies, this is getting on by one thing alone, and it has a God message. And that's the only thing it has going for it. The trailer itself that I saw during Transcendence had the worst acting I've seen in a while for a budget film to actually make it to theaters. I'm just like, are you kidding me with this? This is horrible acting. This should be on ABC Family.
Oh, shut up.
It should be! That's how bad it was, Scott. I was watching the trailer, I was like, is this for ABC Family? No, coming to a theater near you. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. No. Number 2 is actually kind of a surprise, I'm not gonna lie, Scotty. Legends of Oz, Dorothy Return, that animated film.
Yeah.
I don't know what the budget was, but it made $7 million. Yeah, so, fuck if I know. And then number 1, the only movie I actually did see, the only movie that actually is worldwide, the only movie with a budget over $2 million. Godzilla! I have to reiterate that. It's the only movie out of these that actually is over $2 million, with its budget being $160 million, its total gross being $117 million, but it's still number 1. Sadly, this is the only time it's gonna be number 1, because once the weekend box office comes out and Days of Future Past is out, sorry Godzilla, your lunch is about to be eaten out. Because, alright, Godzilla, I'm not gonna do a review for it, but it's had very mixed reviews. Days of Future Past, nothing but positive. I mean, it's just science, But
yes.
Godzilla. It's doing, it's doing pretty well. 117 million for the first week. That's pretty damn good. I do say so myself, Yes, so let's move on from there. Let's see. I say let's talk about Expendables. Fuck yeah. Number 3 is gonna be rated PG-13.
Wait, what?
Yeah. Expendables 3 is going to be rated PG-13. And Stallone has come out explaining why. And I will put it in the simplest explanation possible, people. He wants a bigger crowd to see his movies. That's the exact I could actually read the quote where he says something similar to those lines where I want to have a more expansive audience. And something this article goes on to talk about is, Stallone, Schwarzenegger, their names ain't selling shit anymore. As we saw with, Grudge Match, as we saw with Escape Plan, as we're seeing with their movies that have been coming out.
Bullet to the head.
Do what?
Bullet to the head.
Oh, yeah. They're not doing well. Box office and critically, they're just doing shitty both ways. People don't give a shit about these two anymore. And yet, Expendables is still planned for a fourth one, even though the third one's not even out there like, yo, let's make a fourth one. But, yeah, Expendables, they're putting a PG-13 because they want to get a younger audience in there because they found out the older audience, they don't really give a fuck. We're past that point. I mean, don't get me wrong. I watched Rambo. I enjoyed it. You know why I enjoyed it, Scott?
Because it was Rambo?
Well, no. It's very simple. It's because the movie was already made. It already had a good premise. You know, Stallone was actually young. It's already been done. We've seen these movies. We have these movies. See, the newer generation kids, unless they're film buffs, they don't know. They don't see these movies. They don't even probably. I guarantee, like 65% of, teenagers, 12 to 15, don't even know who the hell Rambo is. And it's just one of those things where I understand they're trying to reach a younger audience, but the older audience who knows about these movies, they've seen these action films. We've seen all the 80s action films. We had our fill with them. We can watch them over and over and over, and we love them. We consider them classics. We're never going to consider Expendables a classic. I consider it a dumb movie with a lot of explosions. Like, people give Michael Bay some shit. I'm like, come on. Expendables, most loosely based plot out there, which is explosions! Come on, don't you love it? Oh! It's the only movie with explosions that was able to bore me. Scott, I was bored in the Expendables because I did not give a living shit about the characters. None of them were likable. And that's something you need with an action movie. You need to have a character where you're like, either, oh, he's a bad motherfucker, or, oh, this dude's funny and sarcastic. He's a good John McClane. You need to have it. It's just, it's just action heroes. But, And it makes me sad because they actually finally got Mel Gibson in the movies, and it's going to be PG-13. I'm just like, no, I like Mel Gibson. Not him personally, but his movies.
Yeah.
I think him personally, he's a racist prick, but, he makes good movies, so I don't care. Alrighty then. Let's go on with... Did you ever get around to watching the Big Hero 6 trailer?
I did, and while I was looking at it, I found something else.
What?
Morgan Freeman on helium.
Okay. I don't really... That has nothing... Alright, well, we're going to talk about a trailer real quick before you try to derail us with, I don't know. Don't talk to me about Andy Dufresne.
When scientists find helium, sometimes it acts strangely.
I would actually rather watch March of the Penguins with him on fucking helium.
That'd be funny.
God, that movie was boring. God damn. But yeah, Big Hero 6, this is made by the guys who made Wreck-It Ralph and,
Frozen.
Frozen, yes, thank you. I was like, they did another one. This Disney animation, and basically they're taking the Marvel comic book, Big Hero 6, and making it for kids. I don't know how I feel about that, because I never even heard of it, but I looked it up. I was like, okay, I want to see what the hell the real comic was. And it was kind of a really Japanese base. It was about the Japanese government getting a bunch of heroes, basically like the Japanese Avengers. They had, I didn't recognize any of the heroes except the Silver Samurai, who isn't really a hero. He's one of those villains where sometimes they try to make him a hero and all that bullshit, except for he's tried to kill Wolverine a few times type of mentality. But, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this just being for kids. And the trailer, that little teaser trailer they showed, I don't know how I feel. I don't know. Like, it's cool. Kids gotta have their kids superheroes and all that, and it's fine. I wouldn't pay to see it. It doesn't look interesting to me. They're doing slapstick comedy. They're like, oh, look at this tubby blob thing. Put this mechanical thing. And one thing that makes me sad there, Scotty, apparently that robot's supposed to turn into a dragon in the comics.
Interesting.
That flabby, Stay Puft Marshmallow Man doesn't look like he's turned into no fucking dragon to me.
He looks like he's going to turn into a blob.
Yeah, he's like the, whoever the tire guy is. You know who I'm talking about?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, he looks like him, and then you put him in armor. I don't know. This is slow for trailers, folks. I was trying to find something better to talk about, but there ain't dick for trailers out right now. I mean, besides there's Guardian Galaxy 2 trailer. I'm like, yeah, but I want to talk about Guardians of the Galaxy again. So, no.
Yeah.
Yeah. Would you see this movie at all?
Guardian?
Would you see this movie?
Yeah.
You would? You'd pay to see
Yeah.
this movie?
Yeah.
All right. I don't know. Maybe I'm not the biggest fan of. Let me put it this way. I don't know. I'm not the biggest fan of Disney, the animation crew. Like, not the non-Pixar stuff.
I have a girlfriend. I have to be.
Oh. Well, at least you have an excuse. Come on, Andrea, let's go! I really don't want to go, Scott. No, you're my excuse. Let's go. Oh, yeah.
That's interesting.
What?
I got a invite because I'm playing Grand Theft Auto at the same time here. I got an invite to a game, and the name was "Let's Have Fun with Fetus."
That's gross.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah. Speaking of Xbox, though, you're an Xbox fan. You a Halo
You?
fan?
Yes.
Well, they're saying Halo TV series set to launch in fall 2016.
I know. Spielberg.
Yes, it's set to launch fall 2015. Yeah, they're just kind of they're in talks about the guy Neil Blomkamp, who he made Elysium and the other one, District 9. He's set to direct the pilot, which is cool because actually it's kind of almost a full circle thing with that dude, where that's how he gets started out because he made that Halo trailer for Halo 3.
Yeah.
And that's how he got started out, and that's how they found him and said, oh, let's have him do some sci-fi shit because he did this really fucking well. He's set to direct the fucking the pilot episode, and it's likely to air on Showtime and the Microsoft Xbox One. And, let's just go with, they don't really know if it's going to be, just based off the Halo universe, from the beginning to end, or if it's gonna take, place, try to tie in with, Halo 5, or, they don't know where they're going with this right now. As in they, I mean the journalist who wrote the article they haven't released any information. They're it's just coming out, okay? So we have no idea if the story's gonna be about Master Chief, it's just gonna be about the events that happen in the Halo series, because Halo, if you don't stick with the games, is a very expansive universe. It's becoming kind of like a Star Wars thing where, you get the games, you get the hardcore material right there, you're like, oh yes, it's all about Master Chief and his journey doing all this stuff. And they have some of this side stuff that would be, the prequel stuff that Bungie did. And then you have all this other expansive universe in books, comics, little TV shows, Forward Unto Dawn, and the Legends, and
RVB, and...
Yeah, I mean, well, that one really is just that one's kind of a joke. It has nothing really to do with it's not canon, is what I'm going with that one. RVD is not canon, it's just kind of more...
Yes, it is. It proves for a simple fact that even if you are a fanboy, you can make a difference. They have Easter eggs in there with Red vs. Blue. They have game types and missions and everything in there with them.
Okay, let me ask you this. Is the Red vs. Blue universe the same universe as the...
Yes.
Does the Halo, Bungie or 343 Studios consider it canon in their universe? Or they just consider it this is for fan service, we'll help them out because they make a lot of money?
I don't know.
Well, I'm just presenting the opposite argument right now, sir. So Halo fans, honestly, this does nothing for me because I don't have an Xbox One. I may by the time 2015 comes out and I'll check it out. But I also don't have show. I'm not a Halo fan anymore, really. So, I mean, making a TV show, I honestly think, hey guys, you probably should have did that at least after Halo 3. While it was still really fresh and people weren't getting sick and tired of it. Granted, there have been some new fans. I've talked to a guy who recently became an Xbox fan because of Red vs. Blue. And he wants to get Halo and all that. He never played a Halo game, and he's trying to get himself all into it because of that web series. That's maybe the main reason why they support that shit so much, because they're like, oh, look at us joke around, and then you go play Halo, and it's like, wow, this is nothing like Red vs. Blue now, is it? Anyways, they got, Halo series set to launch. It's going to be interesting to see how that goes. Steven Spielberg is going to be producing it, but you know of The Omen, right? The little devil child?
Yeah.
Well, they're kind of they're thinking about creating a TV show about it. Creating a TV show about Damien, who, the evil, fucking, horrible human being. I think, from my knowledge, it's going to be Fox. The title of the show is going to be Damien. And basically the guy who worked on The Shield is going to be making it, and I don't really know how I'm going to feel about this. I don't know how you're going to make a TV... I mean, granted, they made a TV show about, Psycho and Hannibal Lecter, so it's possible. It is possible. And so I'd be rather interested. Honestly, this seems like it'd be really cool. I'm not going to lie. Because, think about it. You have a little child who's making people kill themselves on TV. That sounds fucking awesome to me. The little devil child just, it's all for you, David! It's all for you! And then jumping off a ledge. I don't know. It's ought to be interesting to see how this turns out. Honestly, like I've been saying, TV's getting really fucking good. So, even that Hannibal show is pretty damn good. I never watched Bates Motel, but yeah. I'm willing to check this out. The station that will be holding it, I will have to say, I'm looking to see if they actually, go with it. I'm trying to see if they... Oh, I have no idea. They do not say who picked it up, if it's Fox or whatnot. I'm trying to look. I want to say it's Fox. Yeah, no idea. Alright, so... If anyone knows, please let me know, because honestly, this thing is not telling me. They're telling me who the writers are, they're telling me all this other shit, but they don't tell me what channel, what station has picked this up. Someone's picking it up, but I don't know. Alright, you know who J.K. Simmons is, right?
Probably.
Let me put it this way. He was J. Jonah Jameson in the original Spider-Man trilogy.
J who?
He was... I don't even know how to describe him. He's the head of the Daily Bugle in Spider-Man, the movies.
Oh, yeah, just fucking say that. Jesus.
Well, I'm calling him by his name. I thought you would actually know, whatever. Don't ask why he said this. Maybe he has something to do with the movies? Oh, no. Sorry. Yeah. Anyways, yeah, I forget what I was saying. Yeah. But basically, they're doing a new, Terminator trilogy that's gonna take place. They're basically just revamping it. What I didn't know, though, apparently Salvation was supposed to be start of a new trilogy, but that movie didn't do too hot, so they just, canceled that. But they're going to start over a new trilogy with, for some reason, old-ass Arnold Schwarzenegger. He's going to be playing an old Terminator, so apparently these robots with fake skin on them still age. Their car's going to have new Terminator, so it's basically going to be like a remake of the James Cameron Terminator, where you have Terminator, John Connor, Sarah Connor, and then new Terminator. Maybe he's the same type of Terminator this time. Maybe we'll see maybe we'll see the T1 whatever fight each other.
We have a lack of Johns in this movie. We must have Jean-Claude Van Damme.
That would be kind of cool, actually. T800 model Terminator. So we might see that. I don't really know. They're speaking of it, and they're also speaking of doing another Terminator TV series after, the Sarah Connor Chronicles, but they're going to do another one.
To be honest, that was okay. It wasn't the best, but it wasn't the worst.
It was alright, too. I watched the first couple episodes, and I'm like, this is alright, but it wasn't enough to keep me going.
Yeah, I know.
The director, Alan Taylor, who made Thor: The Dark World, he's going to be directing this, and I don't know how I'm going to see it. They're doing a reimagining. They want to call it a sequel or reboot, which, reimagining is a cute little term for reboot. But yeah, from my knowledge, it's just going to, I don't know. It's just basically taking the first movie and the second movie, mixing them one, because they have talked about having, Terminator versus Terminator again while the other two are running around. The funny thing is, they're kind of in talks, about saying that, the chick who played, the chick from Game of Thrones, the blonde chick.
Yeah.
Or the white-haired chick, I forget her name, Emily Clark, I think her name is. She's gonna be playing Sarah Connor, which, honestly, she's hot, that's awesome. But her son, who's going to be playing John Connor, he's to my knowledge, it's going to be the guy Matt Smith, who was the Doctor Who. He's older than her. So they better be doing some time paradox bullshit there because, yeah. It's going to be weird.
A little bit.
Yeah. Do you know Skyline? Skyline.
Yes.
Yeah, folks, I have no segues for any of these news stories, so eat me. I'm sorry. I've noticed that when I go back and just try to make sure everything sounds fine. When I just go through news stories, I'm just like, next news story! Because, here, let me put it this way. Hey, Scott, have you ever skylined? I don't even know how to do that.
Like a Nissan?
What would you do, Scott, if you were just sucked into an alien ship and they, basically turned you into jelly and ate you? I'd become Jelly Man.
And be the fearsome donut of the world.
Yes. Basically, they're making a sequel to Skyline.
Okay.
It's going to be called Beyond Skyline because they have no idea what to call this movie. From my knowledge, though, spoiler alerts for Skyline, if you don't want to know the ending of Skyline, everyone dies except the main character who puts his brain into an alien. Apparently not everyone died. Because the premise for this new one's going to be kind of, from what it looks like, it's going to be the guy who took over one of the aliens, teaming up with a human revolution type thing, taking on the aliens. So, yeah.
So then it's Falling Skies then.
Yeah, I hate to say it, yes. It basically is Falling Skies now. And I'm like, oh, that's awesome. Honestly, I missed the entire middle of Skyline, Scott, because I fell asleep during it. I was watching it, fell asleep, I wake up towards the end, I'm like, I don't know what the fuck happened.
I didn't mind it.
Yeah, they were in the apartment complex. This is what I remember of the movie. They were in the apartment complex watching shit happen, going, oh my god, what's happening? Fell asleep, wake up in a parking garage, and they're killing aliens, or trying to kill an alien.
Yeah.
I'm just like, oh, I think I missed something. And I didn't feel like going back. But they have no details on the release, but, they did have a new trailer, the little poster that came out, and yeah. Also, big news with that movie, too, that the assholes who made Skyline, who were nothing but special effects artists for such famous films as Alien vs. Predator, Requiem, and Galaxy Quest. I don't want to mention their two actual good films, so I just want to shit on them.
I liked Galaxy Quest.
Greg and Colin Strauss, the Strauss brothers. They're visual effects artists. That's why probably Skyline looked pretty good, but it was a shitty movie. They're not making this. They have nothing to do with this movie. The producers of the Skyline still taking it. Because they still have the rights to it. They're taking it. They took it to people who are actually directors. I know. I'm sometimes a dick to people who are just trying to make directing debuts. Apparently Ryan Gosling, he did his directing debut recently, and apparently that movie was kind of shitty. And I have to tell people, Ryan Gosling's movies have been kind of going downhill for me. Oh shit, I'm trying to remember the damn movie. Only God Forgives. That movie is pretty shitty, and Place Beyond the Pines was kind of shitty too. Sorry, Greg.
I never saw the other two.
Those two came out last year, and I saw them both. And Place Beyond the Pines, I can forgive. It was really kind of indie, and it was kind of cool. Only God Forgives. That movie was just bad. It was this over-artistic bullshit kind of movie, and I'm just like, stop doing this, Ryan. Come on, man. Come on. You're a good guy, you're a good actor, but you're killing me with these fucking art pieces. You do the art pieces, and then you do some cool shit. Then do the art pieces, then do some cool shit. That's what Bradley Cooper does. He was in Place Beyond the Pines. He did some, little more indie art film, Place Beyond the Pines. And then he's doing Guardians of the Galaxy. So you see how he does it? Do that, Ryan. Come on! As I give him acting, as if I'm his manager.
Exactly.
And, holy shit, the last bit of news. So, what would you like to see? Well, let me just put it this way. Hugh Jackman kind of wants to go dance with the Avengers a little bit. A quote from him says, I would love to see him, he's talking about Wolverine. I would love to see him a part of the Avengers, says Jackman, because there's a great dysfunction among them, and I think Wolverine would fit right in there.
Yes,
He'd
he
like
would.
that. Yes, he would. And he also goes down to mention that, there's no doubt he'd get in a fight with the Hulk at some point.
Oh,
I'm
fuck
like,
yeah.
fuck yes! Some people don't know this. That's how Wolverine first was introduced into the comics. It was him taking on Hulk. Like, that was what a fucking hell of a debut for a character. Like, oh, who's this small little fry? Oh, he's gonna go take on basically the invincible monster known as the Hulk. And hell to the fucking yes. Now, this is just Jackman, Jackman just talking up Wolverine right now. He did that, he did another story that I didn't pick because I didn't figure we needed to talk that much about Wolverine, where he wants to have another shot against Deadpool. Where he wants the Deadpool movie to come out, and then he wants Wolverine to fight Deadpool. I hate to say it, Jackman, you're awesome because you're just you're just becoming a Wolverine nerd. You're just like, no, now Wolverine has to fight so-and-so. Come on!
Except that, he's been talking recently too that he just doesn't want to do Wolverine forever.
That's true. From my knowledge with his thoughts on Wolverine, he only wants to do it if the script is good. Which brings me to the point of, he probably only wants to do it if, he doesn't want another Origins mistake. He doesn't want to have another Wolverine Origins where everyone's like, that was probably that was the worst X-Men comic, movie out there. Which is so funny when I see people who don't really care about comic book movies, they're just like, oh, they're stupid and fun. I'm like, you clearly know nothing. And, I talk to them like, oh yeah, I liked Origins. Like, why? Oh, it was a good movie. I don't know. I like it. It's like, shut up!
You go to the movies with Ernie a lot, don't you?
Yeah, all the time.
Well, it was okay, I suppose.
Well, it's neither here nor there. Or, as I just watched on Futurama, the neutral. At least, at least with enemies, we stand but neutral. Never know. What turns a man neutral? Is it greed? Lust for neutrality? Who knows?
If I don't make it out of this, tell my wife hello. That's my favorite part of the whole series.
Oh god, I love that. The neutral planet just, if I don't make it out of this, tell my wife hello.
How are you feeling, your neutralness? I don't know, one way or the other.
I know. Oh yes. Should we leave? Maybe. Yes, but anyways, back to one of my favorite of those Marvel movies that are the cartoons, and I mentioned it on this show, is the Hulk versus. And the Hulk versus Wolverine is such a good fight. It really is. And there is in the comics where Hulk actually rips Wolverine in half because, Hulk is Hulk, and Wolverine, of course, doesn't die from it because it's fucking Wolverine, and his healing factor apparently just is impossible to defeat. Dude gets his skeleton ripped out, he gets ripped in half, he just gets torn to shit, and he's just like, da-da-da-da-da-da, super glue. Yeah. So, I want them to do it, it's never gonna happen. Jackman's just just talking to get nerds on his side, really. He's just be like, hey guys, wanna be cool? And they're like, yeah, Jackman rules! He's like, yeah. They're never gonna do it, because Fox owns the properties, and, Marvel owns the other part. Disney Marvel owns the other part. And also, another real fun fact, people, Disney doesn't really own Marvel, they just own some movie rights. I have to reiterate that. They own just the Marvel Studios, which makes the certain kinds of movies. I have to say that. They just have properties of certain characters. People are like, well, Marvel, no. Shut up. You don't know nothing. Go touch yourself while watching piglet porn.
Yeah.
Hey, Scott. Before we leave, I have a joke for you.
Oh, yeah?
Alright. What is green and sticky and smells like ham?
My cum?
No. Kermit's fingers. Yes. That is our joke.
Ha
Hey, mine was at least dirty. It wasn't like, oh, knock knock, who's there? Chinese man! Oh, ching chong ching. Ah!
Me Chinese, me play joke, me go pee-pee in your cook.
I kind of wish I had an Asian friend that worked at a fast food restaurant just to tell some random person that, and just to see their reaction of, wait, what? And just shut the window.
Right.
I want to speak to your super... Hey! Anyways, that is our show. We're out of news stories, and I'm tired of talking.
Yeah.
Yeah, Page Bush. Neutrality. Our worst friend. Alright. That is it, everybody. If you have any comments about any of the news stories and or movies we discussed, or any of the stupidity that Brandon just spews from his mouth without thinking twice about it.
And being neutral.
And being neutral about everything. Let us know in the comment section. I prefer doing it on Facebook because then we can actually respond if you want to have a nice little fun film conversation. But if you just want to have your comments heard, just put it on the comments because we read them on the Bloody Screen Podcast, which will be next week. So, I'd love to hear from you guys. Tell everybody about this show. We have fun with it. We like talking about movies. Scotty likes talking about peanut butter. So, that is it, everybody. Good night.